Okay. Oh, click in there. Got about 45 minutes, baby. Sara gently looks up at the ceiling, lost in thought.
だから、ノッキュ先輩以外で誰かとこうして楽しい時間を過ごすのは初めてなんだ。
So this is my first time having fun like this with someone other than Nakyu-senpai. Yeah, a lot of times in English, the infinitive and the present progressive, where sometimes the present progressive is used like a noun, we call it gerund. Using the infinitive and using the gerund is interchangeable. Using the gerund sounds a little bit more modern and colloquial. If you use the infinitive, it could sound more like you're being poetic and archaic. But both are correct, right? But in a situation like this, using the infinitive just is really awkward. Yeah, so it's not a really good translation there. I can see how they messed that up, though. Usually you can put the infinitive there. Like you could say...
ピピ以外で誰かとこうして楽しい時間を過ごすのは初めてなんだ。
Okay, after Coco finishes talking, like you could say, I like to run, or you could say, I like running, right? Like, both of those are perfectly fine, because it's like both the infinitive and the present progressive can be used to make a verb into a noun, sort of, right? I like to run. This sounds a little bit more stilted, a little bit more formal, a little bit more old school. I like running sounds a little bit more informal, a little bit more new school, right? You could make things more awkward. Like you could say running is fun. You could also say it is fun to run, right? You could also, but theoretically, you could put the to run on the front. To run is fun. That's also grammatically correct, but it sounds really like stilted if you do that. Anyway, but that's how they can make that translation mistake. Okay, this is my first time to have fun like this with someone other than Pee-Pee. Doesn't really work here. Coco, who had been happily watching the fish, suddenly mutters. She looks lonely.
パパのお仕事のお手伝いで一緒に出張中だから。
Because I always work on business trips to help Daddy with his work. To help him with his work? You're going to get this lore drop, and it's going to be kind of tragic, probably. Yeah. What kind of help do you do?
第三視点だよ。
Third perspective stuff. Third perspective.
ここ超能力者だから。
Because I have psychic powers. Huh?
まあ、ある種のテレパシーというか、クリアボヤンスというか、プレコグニションというか、ポストコグニションというか。
Well, I guess that her dad is transparent about it, at least. I want you to do these things because I'm studying the power that you have. And Coco seems kind of okay with it. Okay. Maybe not as tragic until we get to the next few lines and we figure out what it is. Well, it's kind of telepathy, clairvoyance, precognition, or postcognition. What?
だからね。ここ、スプーンも曲げられるよ。
Actually, I can bend spoons too. Well, I could also bend spoons when I was a 10-year-old. That's not what that's about.
曲がれこんにゃろって念じると曲がるの。
Well, if you could theoretically, telekinetically bend spoons, I guess that would be something. When I concentrate and think, bend, you little thing, the spoons bend. I don't think she's actually telepathically bending them. Or telekinetically bending them.
その目は信じてないな。この目。
Looks like you don't believe me.
ほんじゃ、今からココの超能力を披露しちゃうから、その目にしかと刻みやがれい。
Yeah, I don't believe you either. But anyway, alright then, I'll show you my psychic powers right now, and you'll see for yourself.
ほい、というわけで、ねえ、タケピョン、スプーン持ってない？
Do you have a spoon, Takepyon? Unfortunately, I don't.
ほいじゃあね、代わりにクレアボヤンス、 プレコグニションでタケピョンの未来を見て信ぜよう。
Alright then, I'll use clairvoyance and precognition to see your future instead. Is she gonna say to him what you said to him when you, like, fake palm read him in the original? Hey, that sounds interesting, please do.
どれどれ
Let's see now. Coco mutters, approaching me. Okay, that doesn't have a translation. That's just But they had to translate that into English for some reason, so they wrote, "What do we have here?" Even though this doesn't really... She didn't say words. Suddenly, she grabs my palm and stares intently at it.
おお、こいつはすごいぜ。波乱万丈な未来が見えるぞよ。
Oh, this is amazing. I see a turbulent future. Okay, it's like opposed to a laminar future. A turbulent future.
健康一滴の層といってな、運命が大きく二手に分かれることを示しておるのじゃ。
It's a sink or swim fortune. Quite literally, indicating that your destiny will split into two major paths. Well, it is kind of the same thing that you said.
つまり、運命の大勝負、オール・オア・ナッシングじゃ。
In other words, it's an all or nothing scenario.
すべてを得るか、あるいはすべてを失ってしまうか。
You either gain everything or lose everything. You either get the bad ending or the good ending. You either get the Coco ending or any of the other possible endings. Although they kind of left the Tsugumi ending as kind of like an open-ended thing. Like they kind of like gave hope that Takeshi could swim for the surface in this. But it made more sense. I guess it made more sense in the original, where if Takeshi dies, or Takeshi dies and undies.
一方に進めば、金運仕事運ともに上々で、美しい女性と巡り合い、子宝にも恵まれ、ハピハピな家庭を築けるじゃろう。こんにゃろね。
If you take one path, you'll have great luck in money and work. We didn't really see that, but okay. Meet a beautiful woman. Well, he already did. And have children. Maybe he already did that part. And build a happy family. How nice. At least you get to see the family you
お
built.
まけに、健康運も最高ときたもんだ。
On top of that, you will be very healthy. Yeah, we'll see how that happens.
人が羨むほどの長寿長命を全うすることになりそうじゃ。
You'll live a long and inviolable life. Very long.
ただしじゃ。
But, I say...
もう一方に進んでしまうと、こりゃびっくら大変なことになっちまった。
If you take the other path, it will be quite a catastrophe. That is, like, in 2 days from now, you will die. A catastrophe?
これ以上はわしの口からは言えんの。
I can't say more.
この生命線の真ん中のところをよーくじっくり見つめてみるのじゃ。
Look closely, very closely at the middle of your lifeline.
そこに答えが刻まれておるのじゃからな。
The answer is engraved there.
ふわふわ。
I looked down at my lifeline. Huh, lifeline? Wait, isn't this just a palm reading? How is this psychic power?
超能力だよ。
It's psychic power. Psychic power. Okay, it's psychic power. I guess the rewriters were very fond of this particular dialogue, and so they decided to put it in the Coco route to make it seem more important. Whereas in the original, it was kind of slyly snuck in there. I like it slyly stuck in there better, because it's kind of like a meta commentary. It's kind of a joke. It's not like really serious, but anyway. But really, Coco helps her father on business trips, huh? So that's why she said it's her first time having fun with someone like this. She must have invited me to this date because she was feeling lonely. Pat, pat. I gently pat Coco's head without thinking.
タケピョンの手って大きくてほっこりポカポカあったかいね。
Your hands are big and warm and comfy, Takepyo. Me stares down at my cold, stringy, bony hands. No, it's a problem. It's not really a joke, my hands usually feel to other people really cold to the touch. I guess it's kind of like the way my circulation is. And that kind of sucks because they're not really that good at lovers' hands. They're also very stiff. I have very narrow fingers, right? I don't have Denis Saplinkov hands. I have like the opposite. I have the gnarly, stringy hands that are cold. Anyway, Coco would say that anyway, despite whatever your hands are like.
なんか、タケピョンって。
You're kind of like
太陽星人だよ。
a sun being. Oh, that's probably what Coco said because it's like connecting over, right? Sara whispers, a sun being? Yeah. As a token of gratitude for spending time with her, Sara shows me her treasure. It's a small golden compact. Upon closer inspection, it has a thin golden chain attached. It looks like a necklace. Sara brings the flame of a lighter close to the pendant, and a holographic image of an unfamiliar man appears. Sara calls this man a sun being. Hey, Sara, just to be sure, who is the person in this image?
それは今言ったでしょ?
I already told you. That he's a sun being? Yeah. I take the pendant and the lighter from Sara and study the image intently. It looks like a human. I don't know what a sun being is supposed to look like, but he looks like an ordinary young man that you'd find anywhere. Wow, is this a sun being? Well, I thought Takeshi wasn't quite an ordinary young man. He was kind of good looking. Like that gives like a slight like standout thing, but anyway.
少年って本当に素直だよね。
You're really gullible, aren't you? Huh?
太陽星人なんているわけないじゃん。
There's no such thing as a sun being.
あんな炎の塊みたいなところに生物が存在すると思う?
Do you think any living being could exist in a place like that? A mass of fire? Well, how a lot of the ancient religions worked was like people weren't as opposed to the idea of like applying a consciousness or like a personhood sort of like to a concept, because how that becomes offensive, although it may not be obvious to you, like since you kind of lived in the 21st century society of whatever country you're watching this from. Most people are probably watching this. A lot of people watching this are all kinds of places, but everything is like presented to you as a child very naturalistically, right? As in like there's like a physical explanation, an explanation from physics for everything. We can't really explain why physics is the way it is, but like we observe that it always is mathematically modelable. So we just kind of assume that it has to be mathematically modelable for some reason. We don't know why. And we don't really think of math having a conscience, and so when things are emergent stuff of what's underlying some propagating process that's mathematically modelable, we don't really think of like, we have a tendency to not think of it as like kind of conscious thing that exists, like, you know, the consciousness of storms and like the consciousness of like the sun and, you know, forces of nature having consciousnesses, right, being creatures and beings. But I mean, it's still undeniable that even if you had a physical explanation for everything that makes you you, right, if we were able to figure out how consciousness worked on a physical level, which, despite what people say, we have not, you would still be a being, even though you were mathematically modelable, like, physical thing. You still are you. So I don't know why necessarily it does that, but it does do that. You'll hear some people like Jordan Peterson like talk about like anger being a god and like concepts being like persons and stuff, because he likes that idea. But I don't know, like that's just him, I don't know, being him and him doing his own thing. He has his own imagination just like any other person, I guess. Tries to shoehorn that into Christianity, even though how that shoehorns into Christianity isn't like a core tenet of Christianity, and it's kind of like we don't really care about. Most like contemporary Christians don't really care about that issue. But it's kind of like this idea that like the underlying stuff, like the movement of anger and how it kind of propagates through things has some like emergent property. I would say that it's hard for me to imagine anger emerging into a consciousness though, because like anger in a crowd simulating anger is a very simplistic propagation of a thing, right? It's not a complicated enough process to really be conscious, so I'm not really into that whole thing. But anyway, the point is, saying something like, how can a living being exist in a place like that, a massive fire, is a very, like, I don't know, like an actually. It's a very, like, you're really fun at parties kind of statement to, like, all of, like, the vast majority of the history of humanity. Like, it's like, that's not a very human thing to say, really. Humans are really into personifying things. And you're kind of a party pooper when you don't. Yes, even though the sun is a physically describable thing that is not very compatible with life. It doesn't really, like this, the model, like how it works is not really the type of thing that you'd really think of as like creating a consciousness. It's very crude what the sun does, really. Why did I go off on that random tangent? I don't know. Then what you just said now was a lie?
嘘っていうか冗談っていうか婉曲的な表現っていうか
Well, I guess it's more of a joke or a euphemism. What do you mean?
さてどういう意味でしょう
Now, what do you think it means? Sarah extinguishes the lighter with her other hand. Click. Darkness returns to the Quale. I return the lighter and pin it to Sarah.
このホログラムお日様の下じゃないと見えないんだ
This hologram can only be seen under the sun.
日光が当たらないと見えない仕組みになってるみたいなの
It seems that it's only visible when exposed to sunlight.
だから太陽星人だって言ったんだ
That's why I call him a sun being.
だけど小さい頃は本気でそう思ってたな
But when I was little, I truly believed it.
太陽に住んでる人間が作ったから太陽の光がないと見えないんだって本当に信じてたの
I believe that since it was made by people living on the sun, it could only be seen with sunlight.
それでこのペンダントを持ってる私も実は太陽星人の子供で
And so, holding this pendant makes me think that maybe I am a child of the sun being.
何らかの使命を与えられて地球に送り込まれたんじゃないかってそんな風に想像してたんだ
That I had been sent to Earth with some mission. That I had... Oh. That I's a typo, probably. That had been sent to Earth with some mission. I used to imagine things like that.
今考えればあまりにも幼い妄想なんだけどね
Hey, looking back, it was such a childish fantasy, wasn't it? Zip. Sarah lights the lighter again. The small flame fills the space with a warm glow. The flame flickers. Despite the tiny light source, the dome-shaped ceiling is painted a sunset-like crimson.
炎
Fire!
太陽がなくても炎の明かりさえあれば見えるんだ
Even without the sun, as long as there's fire, you can see it. Well, you could probably also see it with an incandescent bulb.
このことに気づいたのはだいぶ後になってからなの
But I guess fluorescent lights were widespread enough by 2002 when the original of this game was written, which had this in it, that maybe they could write that Sarah never held it up to an incandescent bulb. I figured this out much later.
10歳か11歳ぐらいの頃だったかな
I
一
think it
人ぼっ
was.
ちになってからだったから。
I think I was around 10 or 11 after I was all alone. All alone. The word strikes a painful chord deep in my heart.
でもね、日光や炎があっても他の人には見えないんだ。
But no matter with sunlight or fire, others can't see it. What? They can't see it?
このホログラムの画像は私だけにしか見えないの。
I'm the only one that can see the hologram.
うん、
Or
私だけにしか見えなかったわ。
I was the only one who was able to see it.
でもね、もう一人いたみたい。
But it looks like there's someone else who can. There's a third person who can. You just haven't showed it to them yet. Sara suddenly extinguishes the lighter. We're enveloped in dim light. Actually, it's possible that Ryogo could also see it as the fourth person. We never figured out the lore in the original game whether or not he could. We presume that he had some sort of cure, but like cure doesn't necessarily give the full set of superpowers to everyone it infects. And so it's not necessarily clear that even if you had it, you'd be able to see the hologram. So Ryogo probably has some cure stuff going on, but he still maybe doesn't see it infrared. Tsugumi is like special in that she has like the entire suite of effects.
少年、
Shonen, boy, or young man, or whatever. Sara looks at me.
君のことだよ。
It's you. You're the man! I unconsciously place my right hand on my left arm. For some reason, my left arm is aching.
どうしてだろうね。
Why do you think that is?
どうして少年にも見えるんだろうね。
Why can you see it too?
ねえ、どうしてだと思う？
Come on, why do you think you can see it? She presses the pendant and lighter against my chest.
ねえ、もう一度見て。
Would you look again? Sara looks into my eyes pleadingly. I hesitantly take the pendant and lighter. I light the lighter and bring it close to the pendant. A vague three-dimensional image starts to emerge. A face I don't recognize. The figure of a man that only Sara and I can see. My left arm is throbbing. In my empty hand, dots begin to connect like a code, transforming into something hidden. What is it?
何か思い出さない？
Can you remember something?
心当たりとかない？
Do you have any ideas? No. I'm beginning to realize something, but I shake my head. Anxiety, fear, and guilt intersect one another. My left arm throbs painfully.
そっか。
I see. Sara's shoulders droop in disappointment.
ここに映ってる人ね。
The person shown here, right?
多分パパだと思うんだ。
Probably. It's my dad, right? Tabun is like probably. But I think is like, similar enough. Really? This is your father? Okay, does she say Chichi or does she say Okasan? Or no, it's not Otosan or whatever.
多分パパだと思うんだ。
No, she says Papa. Okay, that's interesting. This is your father?
うん。
Yeah. Sara says this while gazing toward the skylight once again.
私と
It's my
私のお兄ちゃんの。
big brothers and my dad.
パパ
Okay, we're gonna have this scene. Papa, Papa, Papa. Which you kind of don't really need to translate, because Papa is really an English borrowed word. But okay.
ねえ、パパってば。
Hey, Papa, I don't know what Dema means.
どうして無視するの？パパ。
Why are you ignoring me, Papa? Let me explain. It is because I am not your Papa, Coco.
でもパパのいない人はパパっぽい人のことをパパって呼んでもいいんだよ。
Someone who doesn't have a dad can call someone who's like a dad, dad. Right, it's called a godfather. We're familiar
憲
with that
法の全
concept.
文にそう書いてあるでしょ？
It's written in the preamble of the Constitution, isn't it? Well, I don't really know what's written in the Japanese Constitution, or even if the Japanese have a Constitution. Or do you have a similar document that does a similar thing, that describes how the government's supposed to be structured? I presume they do because their government has a structure, so something must define it. But anyway, okay. And Japan's not a dictatorship; it has some sort of like structure. It's like some sort of like parliamentary system or something. So there's got to be some like thing that defines what it is written down, I would think. Well, there are 4 things I want to say. First, as far as I know, the Japanese Constitution does not contain a single line corresponding to what you just said. Second, I am not a very dad-like person. Third, you already have a dad, namely your real proper father. Yeah, it's interesting when people say, like, I am, like, not like a parent. Which... interesting. I mean, the whole, like, point of the first game, like, the way they characterized Takeshi and the tasks that they gave him were to, like, make him, like, seem like a dad-like person. In the original. I don't think they even had that line in the original. Because, yeah, it would be weird for Takeshi not to admit, yeah, I've been kind of acting like a dad this whole time. The idea was that Takeshi was like a dad. It reminds me of Gargura. He said, I am like the least mommy ever. And she said some stuff, like, over the years, like, kind of Freudian slippy, or, like, throw this in here and there. It's just that she really does not want to be a mom. Okay. Fourth, when you have a real father, calling someone else dad makes it mean something entirely different. But, like, I would tend to think that, like, how many people, when they go in to being like a parent, right, really think of themselves as a parent? It's something that's hard to, like, think of yourself as until you do it, right? Everyone, you know how you may feel like you're a child in an adult's body? Most adults think that they're a child in an adult's body. Like, it's surprisingly how not different the way your mind works when you're an adult compared to when you were a child. Like, when you were a child, you would think, like, being an adult, like, you would maybe, like, think a lot differently than you did then, right? But then you become, maybe because the change occurred so slowly or something, when you are an adult, you don't really feel like you changed much. As a result, right, you don't really kind of see yourself doing the things an adult you would characterize would do. Like, you don't really see yourself like a parent. Because, like, when you were a kid, you thought parents were a lot different than their kids. And then when you're an adult, you don't think of it anymore, so it's hard to think of yourself as a parent. It's kind of like, that's the case with everybody. It doesn't really mean anything, right? You're not, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not cut out to be a parent. Everyone feels that way. There are some people who are, like, straight up not cut out to be a parent, but it's probably not you. Fourth, when you have a real father, calling someone else dad makes it mean something entirely different. Well, I don't know what Takeshi is getting at here. I don't know why I'm talking so much. If he means something, the whole, like, idea of this being like a fetish thing is, I guess it would have been around 2000. Would that have been around in 2011? Also, it's odd when the writers insert lines like this, because this whole game they've been, like, trying to, like, delete, like, the stuff that would make the game's rating, like, more, like, intense. Like, the more physically detailed stuff involving the relationship between Tsugumi and Takeshi in the remake. But didn't they, like, insert jokes like this if this was actually meant to be that kind of joke? I'm not sure. Maybe my mind's just dirty. Therefore, you should not call me Dad, Coco. No way, no way.
Papa って呼びたい。パパって呼びたい。パパって呼びたい。
I want to call you Dad. I want to call you Dad. I want to call you Dad. No. Even the nickname Takepyon was a compromise. There's no way I'm letting you call me Dad. That's completely unreasonable.
もうパパの意地悪。
Dad is so mean. Stop calling me Dad. Coco growls lowly, glaring at me. Well, at least she's not intimidated by anything. It's like, I wish I could be more like Coco and not get scared when people get mad at me. I'm not going to give an inch either. Well, Tsugumi's got to show up. Coco and I continue our tense standoff on the verge of an explosion. And we continue our fruitless staring contest, I think. Think about how I got into this situation. Man, that's really dragging this out. Come on, Mom, show up. Was it because of that? Because we had a pretend love adventure on our date, similar to what Sora asked me to do? Takeshi's still weirdly in the gutter.
Papa! 起きてる?
Wait a second. Similar to what? Oh, so apparently in this route he goes on a date with both of them. Okay. Dad, are you awake? So apparently they go on the Sora date in this. Okay, now we know.
あ、まだ寝てる。もう困ったパパさんなんだから。
You're still sleeping. You're such a lazy dad. I guess it like changes into like the high school Sora thing from like big brother or childhood friend to dad or something. I don't know.
パパ起きてよパパ
Papa, wake up, Papa.
今日は一日中ココと遊んでくれるって約束したでしょ
Today you promised to play with me all day.
よーしこうなったら
Oh gosh, I guess I'll have
こ
to
れで
take this.
こうだ
Do this. Suddenly something shoved up into my nose. And something slimy slithers into my nostrils. An intense sensation explodes inside my nose. My nose, it's on fire. I instinctively grab at my nose. I blow and flick whatever had been inserted into my nose into my palm. Looking at my hand, it's covered in a sticky yellowish substance. What the hell?
パパ目が覚めた
Papa, did you wake up? Coco smiles innocently, holding a tube of mustard in her hand. Coco must really like the daughter scenario. No, it's because she... but it's like, it's Trujillo, you know what's going on here, right? She's like pretending to be Sora. Because she can like see the future and see her and like, you know, is doing like a mimicry. Yeah, I guess. I just realized that whoever's writing that scene might have been thinking of shoving wasabi up Takeshi's nose instead of mustard. But I don't know why they would have dumped it down to mustard, because there's nothing particularly wrong about talking about wasabi up the nose. If I would do it, I would do it with wasabi instead of mustard, because, you know, why go halfway? Shove the wasabi up the nose. Coco's still growling.
パパって呼ばせろ
Let me call you Papa. No.
呼ばせないなら噛みついちゃうからな
If you don't let me, I'll bite you. Chomp. Coco suddenly bites my left arm. Ow, who bites someone for real? Baby, little kids, and that's how we spread Hep B around, and that creates a bunch of controversy and about babies getting Hep B shots. Oh, I have to figure that all out if I have a kid. Oh, okay. I push Coco's face away to detach her. I don't know, if someone bites you, I don't think you, like, pull your arm out of their face. What you do is you kind of, like, punch into them, right? And it kind of loosens it and you pull back out. Kind of like you get out of a Chinese finger trap. You kind of punch into their face with, like, the bite part. No, you don't take the other hand and punch their face. A reddish purple bite mark is clearly visible on my left arm.
ここにいるよ。
I do. Who bites someone for real? I do. I bite people for real. I thought Takeshi was wearing long sleeves. That's what his sprite shows. I guess she had to like roll up her sleeve or something. Maybe it's like on the wrist.
うししししししし。
Coco laughs, covering her mouth with her fist. Why do you want to call me Dad so badly anyway?
ね、そうだね。パパっぽいから。
It's because you're like a dad. Whoa now, calling a 20-year-old guy dad is a bit much, don't you think? Are you saying I look old? No. You know, I wish that society was structured in a way, at least the 21st century United States, where I am, that being a dad when you're 20 can make sense. Or that you can have like a job that pays enough to be able to be a dad when you're 20. Like, it seems like the human, like, we're kind of built to do that, right? That's kind of like the timetable of life, how our life cycle is being a dad when you're 20 is like, makes sense, right? But we can't really, like, because, well, we can physically capable of course, but, like, it just doesn't make any financial sense anymore. That's a big rant. Anyway. But it's, like, important because the older you get when you father a child, the higher probability that the child will have a genetic disease. Right? I think actually autism is correlated with higher paternal age. It's correlated with paternal age. And so when you're older, like, making people not be able to have kids as young and have to be older before they can do it. Like, for women, first of all, like, pregnancy when you're older, like, is worse on your, like, there's more complications and stuff, right? But it's a problem with men too. Like, you make healthier children when you're younger. Anyway, continuing on.
違うよ。
No, that's not it.
なんとなくそう思っただけだよ。
It just feels that way. Feels that way. So what? Do I look like your dad or something?
全然似てないよ。
Not at all.
ココのパパはもっとかっこいいし、頭もいいもんね。
My dad is much cooler and smarter than you. Blood rushes to my head. But the heat subsides as I exhale deeply. I probably should scold her, but I just can't seem to get mad. Well, I mean, her dad is like this scientist that works for Lieblich Pharmaceuticals. He's probably like a total immoral person, but he probably is smart, yes. I don't know how you're going to deny that, like, he, you know, because...
くにゃくにゃ、へにゃへにゃ。
Onomatopoeias.
芋虫、くにゃくにゃ。
Caterpillar, caterpillar, and more mimetic words.
芋虫、芋虫、ぷっぷくぷー。
Caterpillar, caterpillar, and more mimetic words. Right now, in front of my eyes, Coco is doing some strange dance, moving her hips shakily and bending her arms in this wavy motion.
芋虫、くにゃくにゃ。へにゃへにゃ。
Okay, caterpillar, and then some more mimetic words. I'm about to be inflicted with the confused status. Amidst all this, a thought crosses my mind. Does Coco always play by herself like this? I remember what she had said inside the jellyfish gondola.
ここね、ピピ以外で誰かとこうして楽しい時間を過ごすのは初めてなんだ。
This is my first time to have fun like this with someone other than Pee-Pee.
パパのお仕事のお手伝いで一緒に出張中だから。
Because I always go on business trips to help Daddy with his work. Coco's on a business trip with her father, helping him with his work. She hasn't made any close friends, so she probably entertains herself with her imagination. By the way, Coco, you're on a business trip with your dad, right? Yeah? Where did he go on this business trip?
海底の研究所だよ。
To a research lab under the sea. A research lab under the sea?
レミューのね、ずーっと下んとこにね、EBF っていう研究所があるんだ。
Huh. Doesn't she tell, like, someone else this? And I mean, okay, so this happens in, the original game, of course, right? But I think this happens in a different scene. They splice the scenes together. Also, Coco still hasn't, Tsugumi still hasn't shown up yet. Maybe she just doesn't here, which would be kind of a disappointment because it kind of completed the scene. It was kind of necessary. Way down below, there's a lab called IBF.
ここのパパ、そこの研究員なの。
My dad's a researcher there.
あ、でもこのことはみんなには内緒ね。
Oh, but don't tell anyone, okay? For some reason, I'm not very surprised. In fact, it feels obvious. Like I already knew somehow. Yep, somehow. Then, aren't you worried about your dad? I asked Coco.
なんで？
Why? I didn't read the line about IBF, did I? Yeah, in Lemieux, way down below, there's a lab called IBF. Okay. Why? Well, because,
あ、わかった。
Oh, I know.
ココのパパもココたちと同じように逃げ遅れちゃったかもしれないってそう思ったのね。
You think my dad might have gotten trapped down there just like us, right?
でも大丈夫大丈夫。
No, it's okay. It's completely okay.
パパはちゃんと脱出できたみたいだから。
Papa managed to escape. Huh? How'd you know that?
わかるからわかるの。
I just know.
ココ超能力者だから。
Because I'm psychic.
だからココのパパもピピのパパも大丈夫なの。
So my papa and Pee-Pee's papa too is just fine. My voice got like that because there's too many P sounds. It like double across, whatever that means. The man stares at the control room monitor and cries out in disbelief.
なぜだ？なぜ娘がここにいるんだ？
Either Coco's dad or Yu's dad, or both of them merged into one. Why is my daughter here? I would presume it would be Yu's dad because Coco would know why his daughter was there. He's stunned. His daughter is on the live feed. His attempt to communicate with her fails as communications are jammed. He wants to go to see his daughter, but when he checks the map, he sees the path leading to her is flooded and blocked.
くそー。奴らは私たちだけでなく、彼らも見捨てるつもりなのか。
Damn it. They plan to abandon not only us, but them also.
なんとしても救助隊を連れてこなければ。
I have to call the rescue team no matter what.
娘たちのためにも、カプセルポットで眠る彼のためにも。
For my daughter's sake and for his sake, the man sleeping in the capsule. Okay, well the man sleeping in the capsule was Yu's dad, so is this Coco's dad then? Enduring dizziness and headache, he heads towards the only means of escape, the cosmic well. Unable to bear the intense dizziness, he collapses against the wall. Something falls from his head. It's his ID card. The moment it hits the floor, it reflects the light brilliantly. What? So he's in Lemieux. Yeah, so the man sleeping in the capsule, that was apparently... This is like so weird, because the man sleeping in the capsule, we thought was Yu's dad, right? That was the idea. The issue with we would have thought, though, that Yu's dad went into the capsule. His name would be Yoiki, right? Yoiki went into the capsule very late in the timeline, like maybe just before they even showed up in IVF. Because, first of all, it's the original game's reference, right? In the original game, they find him working in Himmel, and the characters actually put him in the capsule. It's not like this this remake where they just find him already in the capsule. Okay. Second, in the Sora route, it was said that he was working on the entire time during this whole incident, these 7 days, a program to back up Sora's data. And so we would think that would be a very hard task, and he would have to devote a lot of time to doing it. Right? So he would have just gotten in the capsule. He would have worked and worked and worked trying to make that terabyte disk. Well, he didn't make the terabyte disk. Oops, I misspoke. Wrong, I got it wrong. Making that program, because you as the one who has to copy the program onto the terabyte disk. But the program was designed to be on a disk and then copy the data to the disk it was on, right? He would have to devote a lot of time building that program, and so he would have only got to the capsule at the end when he was finally done, right? This we would think would be somewhere around day 5, and so there's only a couple days left for Yoiki to work that you would think he would have used. So he wouldn't be sleeping in the capsule yet. But, okay. If Yoiki's sleeping in the capsule, because we have to understand it to be Yoiki, he's the guy with YT on his name tag, then this other guy would be Coco's dad. This guy would have not escaped yet, though, and Coco says he escaped. Don't understand what's going on with that. But, okay. Why is his daughter here? I guess because his daughter didn't escape. But asking that question is kind of bizarre when it's like he would know why his daughter was here. He was here doing experiments on her. She was here so he could do experiments on her. That's why she was here. It's kind of an odd question. Kind of deflects from him being Coco's dad. But okay. It reflects the light brilliantly. A 7-colored light shines brightly from Coco's hand. Coco holds up her Ultra VIP Lamu card, the Platinum Gold Rainbow Pass, to the sun-like ceiling lights.
ここ、実は太陽星人なんだ。
I'm actually a sun person. Is that so cool? I can't find any other words. The powerful microwaves Coco emitting seems to shake and warm my brain.
パパママみんなも実は太陽星人なんだよ。だって太陽があるから見えるんだから。
Papa and Mama and everyone are actually sun people because you can see the sun.
だからね、太陽星人はお日様が大好きなんだ。
So you see, some people love the sun so much. Yeah, but Tsugumi hates the sun. So what are you saying?
はあ、太陽見たいな。
I wish I could see the sun.
日向ぼっこしたいな。
I want to bask in the sunlight.
ねえ、たけぴょん、ここ日向ぼっこしたくなっちゃった。
Hey, Takepyon, I want to bask in the sunlight. Unfortunately, that's not possible right now.
知ってるけど、したいの。
I know, but I want to.
だってもう3日間も全然お日様見てないんだよ。
I mean, we've been here for 3 days and haven't seen the sun at all.
ねえねえ、たけぴょんは日向ぼっこしたくない？
Come on, do you want to bask in the sun, Takepyon? Well, the Hirameki translation translated that to just sunbathe. I start to imagine a clear blue sky, a pleasant May breeze, the horizon, the sun glittering on the surface of the sea. Even though it's something I'd seen just 3 days ago, somehow it feels like a very nostalgic dream. Yeah, I want to bask in the sun too. But right now it's impossible, isn't it? I look up at the ceiling absent-mindedly. The sun is pretty far from where we are, and besides, it's night now. Some noises. I want to bask in the sun. I want to bask in the sun. I want to bask in the sun. Hey Coco, if we prepare the cosmic whale and escape from here, you can bask in the sun as much as you want. It's almost done. We'll definitely get out of here.
今がいい。
But I want to now.
今じゃなきゃ嫌なの。今すぐしたいの。
If I can't do it now, I don't want to do it at all. I want to do it right now.
ひなたぼっこ、ひなたぼっこ、ひなたぼっこ。
I want to bask in the sun. Hey, come on. Even I'm beginning to reach my limit. I'd like to scold her. But instead I shake my head and raise my hands in resignation, thinking, what's impossible is impossible.
わかったよ。
Yeah, fine then.
もうわがまま言わない。
I won't be selfish anymore. Her shoulders drop in disappointment.
その代わり。
Instead.
ねえ、たけぴょん。一緒にひよこごっこやってくれる？
Hey, Takepyon, will you do some chick play with me?
ひよこごっこで勝負だよ。
Let's do some chick play. What?
じゃあ、いくよ。ひよこごっこ、ひよこごっこ。ピヨピヨピー。
Here we go. It's time for some chick play. Man, it's really compressing all these scenes into like one thing.
ひよこごっこ、ひよこごっこ。ぷっぷくぷー。
Let's chick play. Coco-san, what exactly is chick play?
もう、たけぴょんそんなことも知らないの？
Wow,
ほいじゃあ
Takepyon.
説明してあげるね。
Well, Takepyon, you don't even know that? Okay, I'll explain it to you.
ね、ひよこごっこってね、1648年のフランス人のルイ14世さんによって考案されたとっても格調高い貴族的遊戯の一つなんだよ。
You see, chick play was invented in 1648 by Louis XIV of France. It's a very refined and aristocratic game.
ほいだけどルールはとっても簡単なの。
But the rules are very simple. Louis XIV of France, the original competitive eater. He even had an audience.
ひよこっこの真似をしてピヨピヨと歩き回ればいいんだよ。ね、簡単でしょ？
You just mimic a chick and walk around making pio pio noises. Easy, right?
ほいね、最もひよこっこな人が勝ちなんだよ。
And the person who acts the most like a chick wins.
こいがひよこごっこだよ。
That's chick play.
でもね、本当は昔のレムリアで太陽に感謝するお祭りの時の踊りなんだよ。内緒だけどね。
But actually, it was originally a dance from ancient Lemuria performed during a festival to offer thanks to the sun. That's a secret, though. So, like, the hermaphroditic apes with eyes in the back of their heads also walked around and act like chickens? What? What?
ほいじゃあたけぴょん、ここと勝負だよ。
Alright, Takepyon, it's time for chick play. Playoff.
ピヨピヨピヨピヨ。
That. Pia, 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 pia.
ピヨピヨピヨー。
Pio, pio, pio.
ピヨよピヨよよピヨピーピヨ。
Pio, 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 pio.
ピヨー。
Pio! Dear Mom and Dad, how are you? I am currently at the bottom of the sea, doing chick play. Chick plays are a fine game invented by Louis XIV, where the winner is determined by how well they can mimic a chick. We flap our arms like wings, peck at the trash on the ground, and occasionally do cute little tumbles to look even more like chicks. The sounds we make are primarily things like cheep and chirp, but advanced players may do something like
パサパサ。パサパサ。
that.
ふるふるふる。
To express the adorable gestures of a chick. Since I am still a beginner, I can only use cheep and chirp. I'm striving to become a full-fledged chick, or rather a proud fighting rooster, just like you, Mom and Dad. Oh,
ピヨヨー。ピヨピー。
Chirp, cheep, cheep, cheep. Bleh. I have an excellent teacher with me, but for some reason tears are coming to my eyes.
ピヨーピヨピヨピヨーピヨピヨピヨ
My teacher is encouraging me. Don't worry about me. I'm doing just fine.
ピョンピョンピョンピョン
My teacher is now walking while wiggling her hips from side to side. Occasionally, she moves as if to raise her tail and says poop poop. It's an incredibly lifelike imitation of a chick. Mom, Dad, my teacher must be the best chick impersonator in Japan. No, the world. But Sensei, really? There's no need to do that right in the middle of the floor.
ピヨーピヨー
My teacher is angry. It's because I spoke in a human language. Cheep, 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 chirp. What I said just now is I'm sorry, in chick language. Cheep, cheep, chirp, cheep, cheep, chirp. I'm sure you two can't quite imagine your son engaging in chick play at the bottom of the sea. Or you might not even believe it in the first place. But that's understandable. Even if I couldn't have dreamed that something like this would happen just 3 days ago. Life is so interesting. Humans are such sorrowful creatures. Tears are welling up again. Before the ink on this letter gets smudged, I think I'll stop writing for today. So, Mom and Dad, take care of yourselves. Cheap. Sincerely yours, Cheep Cheep. Well, that would be a very new and very obvious overt kind of cat call. Wow, wow. Why am I dancing like this to escape reality?
ピヨピヨ
Cheep, cheep. Well, it's time. Coco looks really happy. I don't want to see her looking sad. Cheep, cheep. Before I know it, I'm dancing brightly and happily, just like Coco. And thus chick play comes to an end. Needless to say, the result was Coco's victory. Coco cheers with a proud smile.
わーいわーい
Yay, yay. Anyway, it's over. I let out a big sigh. I casually look at the clock on the pole near the flower bed. It's 11:17 p.m. It's already late, so let's get back and sleep, okay? Yeah. Oh, you doesn't watch? Okay. Man, the kid. Not only does Tagumi not show up in the whole mom and dad part, you also doesn't show up in the playing chicks part. They say that like you is like the. Those are kind of necessary though, because you gotta say like that you is a chick. Anyway, Coco and I start walking. She holds my hand. Her hand is just so small. Dad, eh? I remember the word in my heart. Coco so eagerly wanted to call me Dad, but she seemed to have completely forgotten about it now. I feel quite relieved. But on the other hand, I also feel a little lonely. I watch Coco as she lets out a big yawn and repeat the same words in my heart. Dad, eh? Suddenly an eerie laugh echoes through the corridor. I look up, Yu's leaning against the wall with her arms crossed.
見ちゃったもんね
Okay, so Yu does actually show up. But Tsugumi doesn't. Okay, I saw it. I really saw it. Yu's wearing a sly smile.
温泉上がりに近くを通りかかってみればどこからともなくピヨピヨという声が聞こえてくるじゃない
After coming out of the hot spring, I heard some cheep cheep sounds coming from somewhere.
それで声のする方に行ってみれば何やってたのあれ
And then when I went to see where the sound was coming from, what was that? What the hell were you doing?
ピヨピヨピヨピヨってさ
Going pew 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 and all that.
思い出しただけでも恥ずかしい
I was remembering it so embarrassing. Ugh. Recalling the humiliating actions, I start to blush. What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're saying. I decide to play dumb. Fortunately, Yu's the only witness. If there are no third parties, I should be able to bluff my way out of it.
ひよこごっこだよ
We were doing chick play. My accomplice has such a loose mouth.
ナッキュさっきのひよこごっこのこと言ってるんだよね
Naki, you were talking about our chick play just now, right?
そっか、ナッキュあれ見てたんだ。
Really, Naku? You saw that?
そうよ。バッチリ決定的瞬間を目撃して思いっきり楽しませてもらったわ。
That's right, I witnessed the decisive moment and thoroughly enjoyed it. You said, smirking at me. Damn.
そいならナッキュも一緒にやればよかったのに。
You should have joined us, Naku.
私はいいわよ。遠慮しとく。
Mia, I'll pass.
どうして？ポカポカしてすんごく楽しいんだから。
Wow, you feel so warm and it's so much fun.
どうしてって言われても。
Even if you ask me why.
そうだ。ねえ、今からやろうよ。ナッキュ、そいでココと勝負しよう。
I got it, let's do it now, Naku. You can compete with me.
今からあれを私が
Right now, you want me to do that? Use dry laughter echoes down the corridor.
そうだ。もう時間も時間だったりするでしょ。残念だけど、あれはまた今度ね。ね。
Well, it's already pretty late, so unfortunately we'll have to try it next time, okay?
そっか。それもそうだね。もう眠だもんね。
I guess you're right, it's almost bedtime. You wipes the sweat from her forehead with the back of her hand.
ほいじゃあ明日やろう。それでいいよね。
Let's do it tomorrow then, alright?
明日
Tomorrow?
わーいわーい。明日はナッキュとひよこごっこだ。
Yay, yay, I get to do chick play tomorrow with Naku.
明日が待ちきれないからここすぐ寝るね。ナッキュ、タケピョン、おやすみなさい。
I can't wait for tomorrow, so I'm going to sleep now. Good night, Naku. Good night, Takeko. Coco runs off towards the infirmary, didn't see him moving like a chick. You and I are left behind in the corridor. We look at each other nonchalantly. According to the original game, you actually does do it later, just no one gets to see it, unlike you, who observes Takeshi doing it, so apparently she's really good or something, I don't know. Just go along with it, will you?
マジで
Really? Yeah.
私、ああいうの苦手なんだよね。
I'm really bad at things like that. Well, so am I.
ああ、ミイラ取りがミイラになっちゃったか。
Talk about going for wool and coming home shorn. Yu's shoulders slumps in despair. You, don't be so down about it.
何よ、一言だと思って。
What, that's easy for you to say. Well, as someone with experience, once you let go of your shame, it's surprisingly fun.
んなもん、簡単に捨てられるか
You think my shame is that easy to let go of? Yu's shout of echoes forlornly down the corridor. Yawn. Leaving the now forlorn you behind, I head to bed. But to imagine you doing chick play.
ピヨピヨピヨピヨピヨピヨピヨピヨよピヨヨよピヨピーピヨピヨパサパサパサパサフルフルポソ
I must witness this. Well, in the original game he doesn't get to, but whatever. Man, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. Huh? I realized it arrived at the Jellyfish Gondola boarding area. Apparently, while imagining you acting like a chick, I passed the stairs leading to the staff area. Oh well, I guess I'll go back. At that moment, I faintly hear some irregular clicking noise coming from somewhere. Straining my ears, it seemed to be coming from inside the jellyfish. There's not an electrical malfunction or something, is there? Curiously, cautiously peer inside. There I see Tsugumi shining the light of a pin-shaped flashlight around her. However, the flashlight isn't on. Perhaps the batteries are dead.
何よ
What? Tsugumi, having noticed me, looks up from her flashlight. What are you doing?
ああ、これ
Oh, this? Tsugumi glances back down at her flashlight.
見えない太陽を覗いているのかな
Peeking at an invisible sun, maybe? An invisible sun?
そうね。 日向ぼっこがしたかったのかな。
Yeah, maybe I wanted to bask in the sun or something. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't mind doing that.
でも無理ね。
But it's impossible. For multiple reasons. I think it is. The sun is pretty far from here. We are, and besides, it's night now. I feel like I'm repeating the conversation I had with Coco. Hey, why don't you try chick play too?
ひよこごっこ？
Chick play? Yeah, like saying cheap cheap. I strike a chick play pose.
はあ。
Tsugumi sighs deeply as she gazes into the distance.
それであなたは何しにここへ来たの？
So, what did you come here for?
そういえば少年、あなたは何しにここへ来たの？
So, boy, what did you come here for? I was going to look up your skirt. Well, alright, I was looking for you, Tsugumi. I had a bad feeling, so I came to make sure she's okay.
私を？
For me? I was just curious about something, but it's all good. There doesn't seem to be a problem. I can't bring myself to say that I was worried if Tsugumi and Sara were fighting again. Okay, I guess that did happen off screen, or not in the route. Okay. I scratched my head, feeling embarrassed.
変な少年。
You're a strange boy. Oh, that's right. I didn't thank you for your prediction.
予言？
Prediction? Yes, thanks to that we were able to reach the pump room, thank you.
どういたしまして。
You're welcome. Tsugumi once again directs her gaze at the
あ
flashlight.
なたはいなくならないでね。もうあんな思いはしたくないから。
Promise you won't leave, okay? I don't want to go through that again. Why do you think I'll leave you?
自分と関わった大切な人はみんな自分の前からいなくなった。
Because everyone important to me always disappears.
だからかな。
That's why. Tsugumi looks very lonely as she speaks. I absolutely won't leave, so don't worry. Suddenly Tsugumi chuckles softly. Was what I said that funny?
違うわ。思い出しただけ。少年を見ていて大切な人を思い出したから。
No, watching you made me think of someone important to me. Am I like that person?
そうね。雰囲気とかどことなく似ているかしらね。
Well, you're like half of them. Well, you have a similar vibe, I guess. So does that mean we can be friends, Tsugumi? That's not what I mean. Tsugumi doesn't respond. Do you dislike making friends, Tsugumi?
そんなことはないわ。ずっと一緒だった小さい友達もいるしね。
Not that. I have a small friend I've been with for a long time.
あの子、今回は連れてこなくて正解だったわね。
It was the right decision not to bring her this time. Tsugumi shows me a kind smile. Okay, so Channy's not here in 2034. Interesting. A friend who could make Tsugumi smile like that. I'm curious about such a friend, so I asked her about it. Hey, what is your friend like, Tsugumi?
そうね。小さくて可愛くてふわふわして温かいかな。
Well, small, cute, fluffy, and warm, I guess. Small, cute, fluffy, and warm? What kind of person could that be? I gently stroke Coco's soft hair. Despite being so lively just a moment ago, it looks like Coco's sound asleep already. Understandable, she might be tired from playing. Coco turns over and scratches her cheek with her finger. Her blanket goes slightly askew. I adjust it and gently touch Coco's hair again. Coco starts to talk in her sleep. Papa. Papa, eh? I don't know which one she's referring to, but my lips naturally relax into a smile. Okay, two papas and an Oni-chan. Huh?
寒いよ。
I'm cold.
早くここから
Hurry, hurry and get me out of here.
助けてよ。
Help me.
お兄ちゃん、
Big brother.
助けてよ。
Help me.
お兄ちゃん。
Big brother. Yep.
お兄ちゃん
For some reason, there's a save there. Oni-chan? Huh?
お兄ちゃん
Oni-chan?
お兄ちゃん起きてる
Oni-chan, are you awake?
ああまだ寝てるもう困ったお兄ちゃんなんだから
You're still sleeping. You're such a lazy Oni-chan.
よーしこうなったら
Oh gosh, I guess I'll have to
これで
take this
こう
and do this.
だ起きてお兄ちゃん
Okite Oni-chan. Suddenly I hear a sweet whisper-like voice near my ear. Huh? A warm breeze tickles my ear. My heart skips a beat. I can't help but widen my eyes. Wow! I jump up and see Sarah smiling in front of me. Sarah?
忍法桃色待機でござるどう目覚めパッチリでしょ
How was my ninja technique? Alluring breath. You're wide awake, aren't you? Sarah smirks mischievously again. Who? Man, oh man, that was surprising. My heart is still pounding. Seriously, why does Sarah wake people up like that? I feel like I'm blushing as I look into the mirror. But this mirror is also cracked, so I can't see myself. The face of the boy I don't know. And come to think of it, before Sarah woke me up, I feel like I was dreaming about something. What kind of dream was it again? That's right, it was about that girl. About Coco. I had a dream where I went on a date with Coco. But I wonder why I had that dream. Because I had a date with Sarah? That's right, I went on a date with Sarah yesterday. She invited me on a date at the hot springs, and we saw the Lemurian ruins, visited the souvenir shop, rode on the quale, and did some chick play. What? Chick play? For some reason, memories of that date with Sarah feel as hazy as my dream about going on a date with Coco. I wash my face again, trying to wash away the cloudy feeling. Throb. Okay, so I guess like they interlace them for the player, but when the kid's perspective, it's like he goes on a date with Sarah, and then afterwards he goes to sleep and has a dream of having going on a date with Coco, which is happening at a different time than like the one with Sarah, because I don't know. Unless they do it way into the night or something. I feel a sharp pain, like the Coco Takeshi date goes way into the night. I feel a sharp pain shoot throughout my left arm. There's a pile of deep-sea hot spring manju and a large amount of chikuwa in front of me. Takeshi had instructed Sarah and me to bring everything from the gift shop.
しかし、壮絶な組み合わせだな。
Man, what a formidable combination.
リクエスト通り持ってきたものですよ
This is what you requested.
ああ、ちくわはマヨネーズとわさびに醤油をちょっと垂らして食べると美味しいんだ。
You know, it's really delicious if you put a little mayonnaise, wasabi, and soy sauce on it. Takeshi reaches for a piece of chikuwa and eats it how he described.
おお、意外と美味しいぞ。
Yeah, it's really good. With that, Takeshi gobbles down his chikuwa.
きたきく
Ah, man, there it is. Takeshi tilts his nose upward. From what I assume is the wasabi, tears stream from his closed eyes. Makes sense. After wasabi irritates your nose, it feels ticklish, and you end up sneezing. Awful sneeze noise. See? It's worse than a dad sneeze. Suddenly I feel like this seems familiar, as if I'd seen it before. No, but I was the one who sneezed, not Takeshi. Wait, but I do feel like Takeshi's the one who sneezed. Suddenly I feel like I'm repeating the same series of events. Could it be that I'm stuck in a time loop? The deja vu wasn't because I had had a similar experience in the past, it's because I'm stuck in the same time loop. This is different from time travel. Everything, not just me, gets reset and we're back to repeating it all. Is that why I have no memory? Each time time resets, my memories reset too. But even though they reset, fragments of memories linger somewhere in my mind, making it feel like I'm having premonitions. We're playing Ever17! I absentmindedly glanced at everyone during the breakfast. But maybe I'm wrong. If that's the case, everyone else should have lost their memories too. And it would have already been redone, we already do. It became obsolete as soon as we started doing it. It seems like I'm the only one who lost his memory. And if we're stuck in the same time loop, the same thing should happen again. Or should happen. But even if the same things happen, the memory fragments are different. Tsugumi didn't get injured. I didn't go on a date with Coco. It was with Sarah. Sora can't eat too. What?
しいです。
What? Sorry for the pause. Huh? Sora can eat. Sora has a piece of Chikawa in their mouth. Wait, why is Sora non-binary? It would be her mouth, and it's munching away. Wait, you can eat now, Sora?
あ、これですか？もちろん未来樹ですよ。皆さんと食事の雰囲気を味わいたくて。
Oh, phew, I thought they really changed this up. Okay. Yeah, imagine if this was actually like Android Sora with a way of processing food. Like the entire, I didn't notice like the entire kid side the whole time Sora was like physical. But yeah, we could imagine that wasn't the case because of all the whole like, you know, fixing the pipes and stuff. So that would have to like, that would like retcon a lot of stuff. Oh, this is just Mirage, of course. I wanted to experience the atmosphere of dining with everyone. Oh, I see. For a moment, I thought you were the real Sora, not Mirage.
本物の空？それって私の偽物がいるってことですか？
The real Sora? Are you saying there's an imposter of me? Well, not exactly.
でも本物か偽物かで言えば、今ここにいる私は偽物なのかもしれませんよ。
But that would be interesting if they're like swapping in with a physical Sora every once in a while. But if we're talking about real versus fake, then the Sora eating here might be considered the fake one. Huh? What do you mean?
私という存在は世界に一つしかない設定になっています。
According to my settings, there is only one of me in this world.
でもそれは全ての視点に対して一つにしか見えない設定です。
But this one setting means that from any viewpoint, only one of me can be seen.
ですが実際、皆さんの頭の中へは角度、距離など異なった視覚情報が送られています。
However, in reality, our brains are receiving visual information of me from different angles and distances.
一人一人に異なる私の情報が送られている。言い換えれば、私を見ている人の数だけ私が偏在しているということになりますね。
The information about me in everyone's brain is different. In other words, as many people as there are looking at me, there are that many versions of me.
ですから、皆さんが見ている私は、すべてが本物であり、偽物。純粋なコピー、いえ、クローンと言った方が分かりやすいかもしれませんね。
Therefore, every me that you all are, what? Therefore, every me that you all are just copies. Huh? Both real and fake. Well, it might be easier to understand if I called them clones. There probably was a typo in there somewhere. Clones? I know I don't read very well, but
培
that
養
was
した体
weird.
細胞から核を抜き取り、別の、すでに核を抜き取ってある卵細胞の中にそれを移植し、
Extracting the nucleus from the cultivated somatic cells and implanting it into another egg cell from which the nucleus had already been removed.
母体子宮内に着床させることで、体細胞の核の提供者と同じ DNA を持った個体を複製すること。これがクローンです。
And by then implanting the new cell into the mother's womb as being with the same DNA as the donor of the nucleus can be replicated. That's what a clone is. But aren't you different than a clone, Sora? Clones grow separately and become separate entities, don't they? In that case, they're not the same person, they're like twins.
でも、その由来は単一です。
But they have a singular origin point. Sora explains that she's reading from a textbook.
話を戻しますね。
To continue where I left off before, because I'm trying to make some point of some sort.
未来樹により見えている私は、同じ空間の中に、同じ時間の中に、私が偏在しているのです。
The phantom me, even if in the same space and time, exists in countless numbers.
私は一つであると同時に複数なんです。
I am a unique yet multiple existence. Unique and yet multiple?
例えば、少年さんの前と倉成さんの前。
For example, there is a Sora in front of you, Shonen-san, and one in front of Takeshi-san.
あそことここに二人の私がいる。けれどそれは決してダブルではなく、
There are two versions of me, both here and there. But that Sora and I, we are not like a W.
Y なのです。
We are like a Y. A
ある
Y?
由来からいでて分かれた Y。
something coming from shared origin splitting into two different things. That is what we mean by a lie.
そうですね。考えてみてください。
Let's see, think about this then.
もしもあなたという人格をそっくりそのままコピーすることができるとしたら、
What if you could perfectly copy your personality as it is? What is Sora talking about?
例えば
For example,
あなたの脳に刻まれたすべての記憶、考え方、感じ方、人格、性格、感情。
if all your memories, thoughts, feelings, personality, character, emotions are stored in your brain,
それらすべての情報を正確に忠実に摘出することができたとして、
if all that information could be accurately, faithfully extracted,
それを何らかの記憶媒体に複製し、しかもその機能を再現できるとしたら、
duplicated onto some form of storage, and moreover, if its functions could be replicated, like what happened to me,
その時本当のあなたはどこにいるのでしょうか。
then where would the real you be?
肉体に残ったままの人格が本当のあなた？
Is the real you the person remaining in the body?
それとも複製した人格が本当のあなた？
Or is it the replicated personality that's the real you?
正解はそのいずれにも本当のあなたがいるです。
The correct answer is that the real you exists in both,
もしそのようなことが可能になったら、
if such a thing were possible.
あなたは非原数分裂的に分裂するでしょう。
You would split meiotically.
つまりリンゴを2つに割るような分裂の仕方ではなく、
In other words, not splitting like cutting an apple in half.
そのリンゴと同じ質量、同じ形、同じ成分を持ったリンゴがもう一つ誕生するということです。
By giving birth to another apple with the same mass, shape, and components as the original.
その時あなたは2つになるでしょう。
At that moment, you would become two. I don't have reverb. Wait, am I seeing two Soras? Suddenly, there are two Soras in front of me. Surprised, I look around, but it seems like no one else has noticed that there are two Soras. Takeshi is engrossed in his thick papers and isn't looking this way. Did something happen to my eyes? I rubbed them instinctively.
ちょっとリミッターを解除してみました。大丈夫。この姿は少年さんだけにしか見えていませんから。
I've released my limiter for a little. Don't worry, only you can see this form, Shonen-san. I see. Both Soras speak at the same time.
このように私は同時にあらゆる場所、どこにでもいる存在にもなれます。
Like this, I can become an existence present anywhere, in any place.
仮定の話ですが、
It's a hypothetical scenario, but
細胞クローンでなく真の意味でのクローニングというものがあったなら、
if there were true cloning, not cellular cloning,
オリジナルと全く区別されることのないコピーがこの世に存在したら、
where copies of a person could exist in this world completely indistinguishable from the original,
あなたも偏在するのかもしれません。
you could also become an omnipresent existence. An omnipresent existence?
歴史的にはその瞬間から2人のあなたは別々の個体として時間軸上を歩んでいくことになります。
Historically, from that moment on, the two of you would become separate individuals walking along the timeline.
けれどその道のりを振り返ってみれば、2つのあなたはある一点で結ばれていたことがわかるはずです。
However, if you were to look back at on that journey, you would realize that the two of you were connected at a certain point.
それがつまり Y なのです。W ではなく Y。
That's what I mean by a Y scenario as opposed to a W.
あるポイントを起点として別々に分かれていく2つの自分をあなたは想像できないかもしれません。
You might not be able to imagine having two separate selves branching off from a single point.
しかしそれはすでに起こっていることなのです。
But it's already happening. Because you're in a visual level where you make choices and you have different things.
あなたは常に絶え間なく訪れては過ぎ去っていく瞬間の中で何らかの選択を迫られています。
You're constantly faced with some choice in the fleeting moments passing by you.
A の道を行くか B の道を行くか。
Will you take path A or path B?
ここにいるあなたが A の道を歩んできたとしても、別の時間軸上では B の道を歩んできたあなたが存在するかもしれません。
Even if the you here takes path A, on another timeline there might exist a you who takes path B.
そして A の道のあなたも B の道のあなたもあなたであることに変わりはない。
Yeah, but you can't communicate between the two. And yet both the you on path A and the you on path B are still you.
ただ A の道にいるあなたは B の道にいるあなたのことを知りません。
However, the you on path A does not know about the you on path B.
知る手段がないからです。
Because there's no way to know.
同様に B の道にいるあなたも A の道にいるあなたのことには気づかないでしょう。
Similarly, the you on path B won't be aware of the you on path A.
なぜだかわかりますか？
Do you know why? No. I answer honestly.
人には三次元的な知覚能力しか備わっていないからです。
It's because humans only have the ability to perceive in 3 dimensions. 3 dimensions? You need a lot more dimensions to be able to perceive that, though. Suddenly, experiment with the pin I did with you comes to mind.
ってなわけで、一つの視点だけでは立体を認識することって難しいでしょ？
Apparently, that scene happens in this timeline in the Coco route as well. So, just one perspective, it's difficult to perceive depth, right?
というわけで、一つの視点から得られる情報は平面、二次元的な情報だけなのよ。
Meaning, the information obtained from one perspective is only flat or 2D.
立体、三次元的な情報を獲得するためには、その視点が最低でも2つ以上は必要になるわ。
To acquire 3-dimensional information, you need at least 2 perspectives.
つまり、右目と左目。
In other words, if we didn't have both our right eye and the left eye.
この2つの視点を使わない限り、私たちは瞬間的に3次元を認識することはできないのよ。
We wouldn't be able to instantly perceive something as 3 dimensions. I get to see a 3-dimensional solid. We recognize 3 dimensions from parallax, or the disparity of the 2-dimensional information obtained from our eyes.
その通り。よくご存知でしたね。
Exactly, you know your stuff, Shonen-san. I remember hearing that from you.
そうでしたか。では、三次元の空間そのものを外から眺め、認識するにはどうすればいいでしょう？
Is that so? So how would one observe and recognize 3-dimensional space from the outside? I don't really know. But you said earlier that there is no way to know, right? So the me on path A has no means to see the me on path B. To recognize a 3-dimensional solid, we must get 2-dimensional images from our 2 eyes and perceive them through the disparity. In the same way, unless I move to a perspective outside the Y that contains both the me on path A and the me on path B, even if I know that somewhere exists the me who walked the road to A and the me who walked the road to B, I can't confirm with my own eyes whether both exist.
そうです。
That's right. I notice Sora is back to one form.
素晴らしいですね。少年さん、素質があるんじゃないですか？
That's wonderful, boy son. You might have a talent. For what?
物理学者、あるいは哲学者の。
For physics. Or maybe philosophy. Come on, don't flatter me. Sora raises her head. A board appears at the tip. The board floating in midair folds neatly into a perfect square. A light dot appears on the surface and starts to move.
仮に二次元の世界に知的生命体がいるとしましょう。
Suppose there are intelligent beings in a 2-dimensional world.
彼は三次元の立体を見ることができますか？
Would they be able to see a 3-dimensional solid? They wouldn't, right?
そうです。
Exactly. The square transforms into a cube.
なぜなら、二次元的な存在である彼は、平面上で起こった出来事しか知覚することができないからです。
Because the 2-dimensional being can only perceive events happening on a plane.
二次元存在の視野には直線しか映りませんから。
In the perspective of 2-dimensional beings, only lines, 1-dimensional, would be visible. There are light dots on all 6 faces of the cube. However, each light dot moves only on its respective face, never intersecting with the others.
さて、何らかの理由で彼が三次元的存在に変化したとしましょう。
Now suppose for some reason it transforms into a 3-dimensional being.
すると、三次元的存在である彼の視野には平面しか映らなくなるはずです。
Then, in the perspective of a three-dimensional being, only planes, two-dimensional, would be visible. The light dots from the six faces gather into one and move to the center of the cube. Then several new holographic cubes appear above, below, left, right of the cube. The cubes connect by their faces, fitting together seamlessly. Except it's the way the... anyway.
3次元における立体視は左目に映った平面と右目に映った平面を合成しているに過ぎません。
Seeing a solid in three dimensions is merely the result of combining the plane seen by the left eye and the right eye.
例えば精巧に緻密に描かれたリンゴの絵と本物のリンゴの映像を近づくことなしに見分けることはできないでしょ。
For example, you wouldn't be able to distinguish between a finely detailed drawing of an apple and a photograph of an apple, would you? Then a single light point appears within each cube. The light points inside the cubes continuously collide with and reflect off the six outer faces, moving ceaselessly. However, they never leave their respective cubes and never intersect with the other light points.
繰り返しますが、
I'll mention this again.
平面としての情報を同時に2方向から入手することによって立体を知覚していると錯覚しているだけなのです。
You are merely under the illusion of perceiving a solid by obtaining two-dimensional information from two directions
そ
simultaneously.
れは3次元的な視覚とは呼べません。
This cannot be called three-dimensional vision.
3次元的な視覚とはサイコロの6面すべてを同時に見ることができる視覚のことを言うのです。
True three-dimensional vision would be able to see all six faces of a die at the same time.
N 次元存在には N-1 次元の視覚情報しか得られない。
An n-dimensional being can only obtain an n-1 dimensional visual information.
ですから Y の字の先端にいる存在はもう一方の先端にいる存在のことに気づけないのです。
Therefore, the entity at the tip of the one branch of the Y cannot be aware of the entity at the other tip.
もしも彼が3次元的視野を獲得したとき、
When they gain three-dimensional vision,
つまり2次元平面から脱出して3次元空間内からその平面を見下ろしたときに、
that is, when they escape from the two-dimensional plane and look down on it from within three-dimensional space,
その時初めて自分が Y の字の一部であったことに気づき、
only then will they realize they were part of a Y shape.
さらに枝分かれしたもう一人の自分がいることにも気づけるのです。
And another version of themselves branched off. Suddenly all the cubes shatter and disappear. My vision is filled with blinding white light. Sora distorts. She splits into countless versions of herself. Sora now covers my entire field of vision. Well, that's not what they did. They didn't mosaic the sprites over the entire... Mosaic is not the right word. Stick sprites like stress reducers all over my screen. I can't keep my eyes open. I can't tell which one is her. Or perhaps they're all her.
そう。そしてこれは3次元空間においても同じことです。
And it's the same in three-dimensional space.
あなたが4次元的視野を獲得したとき、
When you gain four-dimensional vision,
つまり少年さんが3次元空間から脱出して上位次元空間内からその空間を見下ろしたとき、
that is, when you, boy-san, escape from three-dimensional space and look down on it from a higher dimensional space.
その時初めて自分がプサイの字の一部であったことに気づき、
Only then will you realize you are part of the phi shape. No, that's not a phi. That's a psi. The psi shape.
さらに枝分かれをした他の自分がいることにも気づけるのです。
And there are other versions of yourself that have branched off.
異なった歴史、異なった世界、異なった空間の中に
In different histories, different worlds, different spaces.
別の自分自身が存在するということが分かってもらえたでしょうか。
Do you now understand that other versions of yourself exist?
世界に自己は偏在しているのです。
You exist omnipresently in all worlds.
あなたと同様に
Just as I
私という
do.
存在も偏在しています。
Just as I do.
あなたも私と同じ
You and I are the same.
単一から分かれた Y
A Y that branches off from a single origin.
ですが
However,
偏在する自己は一つ。
regarding the omnipresent self, in the end, there is only one. Sora stops multiplying. The dazzling brightness of my vision fades away. Why? Because every time you make a wrong decision, you die.
あなたの知らないあなたがあなた自身と不可分の存在になれるとしたら
If all the yous that you do not know could become an inseparable part of you,
あなた自身が他のあらゆるあなたを把握できる位置に立って全てを見通せたとしたら
if you could stand in a position where you can grasp all the other yous and observe everything,
全てのあなたの体験はあなた一人の体験に等しくなる
then all the experiences of the yous would all become yours alone.
そしてあなたは本当の意味であなたになる
And you would truly become you in the fullest sense. You could make a weird religion out of this. Saying this, Sora smiles at me. Ha. I let out a deep breath. Hey, can I ask you one thing?
どうぞ
Go ahead. Why are you telling me about this?
なんでですかね
I wonder why. Sora tilts her head and smiles.
私の本体であるコンピューターは別の場所に存在しているからでしょうか
Is it because the computer that constitutes my main body exists in another location?
そうだ少年さん量子コンピューターは同時並行的に存在する複数の世界パラレルワールドを利用して並列計算をしているって言われているのをご存知ですか
By the way, Shonen-san, have you heard that quantum computers utilize multiple parallel worlds existing simultaneously to perform parallel calculations? Using parallel worlds, is that really true?
それは
Well, kinda. Depends on how you want to, language you want to use to describe it.
おい少年これからクジラを修理しに行くぞ
Hey, Shonen, let's go fix the whale now. I look to the side and see Takeshi standing there. Fix the whale?
忘れたのか俺たちがここから脱出するためにはコスミッシャーバルクジラ型遊覧潜水艇を直さないといけないだろ
Don't you remember? We've got to repair the cosmic whale, that whale-shaped submarine, then we can get out of here.
ほれ行くぞ少年
Come on, let's go, boy. Hey, whoa, Takeshi. Takeshi grabs me by the scuff of the neck, forcibly dragging me along.
頑張ってくださいね
Good luck. Sora waves at me with a smile as I'm led away. Or, try your best.
みんな準備はいいか
Everyone ready? Takeshi, why are you saying everyone? I'm the only one here.
気分だよ気分それじゃあ出発するぞ
Just following the script, let's get going then. Yes, Captain.
え
What? Takeshi gives me a weird look. I mean, you're the captain, I'm your squad member, right? Well, he's following the script too. Takeshi gazes at me with kind eyes and stifles a laugh.
ああそうだったな
Oh yeah.
それじゃあ翔ちゃん隊員出発するぞ
Alright then, squad member, we're off. Yes, Captain. Takeshi whistles happily as he pushes the cart. I'm not going to skip this scene? Okay, it's over here. I arrived at the warehouse. Takeshi and I searched for the parts listed on the repair list. There are motors, lights, cables, all sorts of things scattered around inside. Fortunately, the new parts needed for the repairs are organized and numbered, so it's relatively easy to find them. Let's see, an MV Max unit off, found it. Is this it? Captain, the last part has been found.
よくやった翔ちゃん隊員くん
No, well done, squad member. Are these all the parts?
これもこれもこれもっとあ全部揃ったみたいだな
You've got this, this, and this too. Yeah, that's everything.
さてまた一つ謎が解明され一つの冒険が終わった
Another mystery
しかし
solved. Another mystery solved and an adventure comes to an end. However, with all the repair parts gathered, it seems like Takeshi's pretended adventure is coming to a close.
世界の謎が絶えるその日まで我々の冒険は終わらない
Until the day when all mysteries of the world are solved, our adventures will never end. Takeshi finishes speaking and closes his eyes, seemingly lost in thought. Hey, Takeshi, let's stop pretending and go fix the whale.
ああそうだなこれで冒険ごっこはおしまいだ
You're right. Okay, I'm done. Takeshi starts to push the cart loaded with repair parts toward the maintenance room. Then Takeshi and I start to repair the whale.
さて次は何外装7番パネルを開いて C10 のユニットを交換だな
Now, what's next? Open panel 7, replace unit C10. After completing the internal unit replacement, we move on to the external repairs. Just then, Takeshi appears to be in pain. His body is trembling uncontrollably. His lips are quivering. Takeshi, what's wrong? Takeshi appears in distress, making me anxious.
うまい
That's so good. The contrast between the build-up and the punchline is just too much. Wow. Phew. And then he lets out a deep breath.
潤うぜ
Oh, that hits the spot. I should have bewildered look at Takeshi. Huh, he looks kind of blurry. They're gonna do this again like they did in the U route. Continuing.
少年、なぜにチラチラと俺の顔を見てるんだ
Why are you
そんな
looking
に
like...
いい男か俺。
Why are you looking at me like that, boy? Am I that good looking? I'm not thinking that at all. But the blurriness soon disappears. That's odd. I'm sure he looked blurry just now.
さて、一服もしたし、修理の続きを始めるか。
Well, now that we've had a break, shall we continue with the repairs? Okay.
それじゃあ、修理完了だ
Alright then, repairs are complete. We did it, Takeshi.
イエーイ
Yeah. Yeah. I high-five Takeshi. Okay, he doesn't go get drinks and come back and get intercepted by someone this time, apparently. Woo! After finishing the repairs, I return to the break room and take a break with a can of juice. No one else is in the break room. It seems Takeshi went off to tell everyone that the repairs are done. I found myself recalling what I was thinking about this morning. The thoughts about experiencing the same time repeatedly.
異なった歴史、異なった世界、異なった空間の中に。
So we started this recording on day 4, not day 5. I messed that up. This when we repair the cosmic well, that's day 5. Anyway, in different histories, different worlds, different spaces.
別の自分自身が存在するということが分かってもらえたでしょうか。
Do you now understand that other versions of yourself exist?
世界に自己は偏在しているのです。
You exist omnipresently in all worlds. Considering what Sora told me, I think I could be transversing through the same time in different histories. If that were the case, it would explain things like Tsugumi not getting injured and Coco and Sora swapping places. But what will happen to the histories I've witnessed so far? Will the world reset just like me, leaving only remnants of memories which feel like premonitions? I absentmindedly gaze around the empty room. I'm the only one here, just me. Thinking about the world being reset makes me sad suddenly. The world where I no longer exist, where I can no longer be seen. Coco? I utter the name of the girl who isn't part of this history. Is she also just a remnant of the reset world?
大丈夫か少年。
Are you alright, boy? I hear a voice from beside me. I look up to see Takeshi staring at me.
お
Takeshi?
前、何泣いてるんだどうした何があった
Hey, why are you crying? Something happened? I just suddenly felt so sad. Huh? Am I crying? I touch my cheek and feel moisture on my fingertips. I started crying without realizing it.
多分それは、もうすぐ記憶が戻る証拠みたいなものじゃないかな。
I think it might be a sign that your memory is about to return. My memories will return? What will happen to this world when my memories does return? When my memory... Oh, not... It's singular. It makes sense. When my memory does return.
ああ、戻るさ。少年がそう願うならな。信じて願えば、叶い、現実になるってな。
Yeah, it will. If you wish for it, believe in something and wish for it, and it'll come true. If I wish for it,
ああ、すべて戻るさ。
it will definitely return. It will definitely return. Takeshi's voice makes me think of the reset. When my memory returns, will the world be reset again?
じゃあ次は、宴会だな。
So, now I think we should have a party. A party?
明日ようやく脱出できるんだ。だから前祝いと成功を祈って宴会だ
Tomorrow we can finally get out of here. Let's have a party to celebrate in advance and pray for our success. I accompany Takeshi to the gift shop and we load the food and drinks for the party onto a cart. Hey, where are we holding the party? I think of have an idea, but I ask anyway. Okay.
そうだな。じゃあ、あそこにするか。
Let's see, over there might work. Takeshi has come to what seems like a park-like square as I expected.
さて、早速準備を始めるか。
Alright, I'm gonna get stuff ready. Okay, I'm gonna go on a little walk. I'm pretty sure Takeshi's supposed to prepare for the party alone.
ちょっと待て。お前がいないと話にならないだろ
Wait a minute, we can't talk if you're gone, right? Huh? Aren't you gonna prepare for the party?
いや、お前にも協力してもらうぞ。さすがに一人じゃできないからな。
No, you're gonna help me, of course. I can't do this alone. Okay, what should I
とりあ
do?
えずボケてみろ。
For starters, try to be a funny man. Be a funny man? What exactly are you planning, Takeshi?
もちろん宴会の準備。掛け合い漫才のネタ合わせに決まってるだろうが。
Preparations for the party, obviously, and we're going to rehearse our comedy routine. Takeshi whips out a lightning-fast retort, with a weird, like, operating system-esque sound. What? And so Takeshi and I start rehearsing our comedy routine.
というお話だったのさ。
So that's what's up. Oh man, Takeshi, you've gone and forgotten everything you taught me already.
それは惜しいことをしたな。メモくらいしろよ、お前。
What a shame. Should have taken notes, bro.
ってなんでやねん。まだ何も教えとらんぞ。
What do you mean? I haven't even taught you anything yet. You haven't? And that's a wrap.
しました。
That's a wrap. You think they'll laugh?
安心しろ。大爆笑間違いなしだ。
Don't worry, they're gonna bust a gut.
それより、ちゃんとネタ覚えたか？
More importantly, did you remember your lines? Well, I vaguely remember the latter half. The first half of the act won't stay in my head.
しょうがないな。宴会の支度もあるし、もうネタ合わせの時間はないぞ。
Well, we don't have time to practice anymore. We've got to get ready.
そうだ、少年。お前、メモ持ってたよな。それに、ネタを書いといてやるから。
That's right, boy. You have your notepad, right? I'll write down the jokes for you. Got it. I hand Takeshi the notepad and pen that have been in my pocket the whole time. Takeshi scribbles down some
ほれ、
lines.
書いといたぞ。本番までにちゃんと覚えろよ。
Here, make sure you memorize it before the real thing. Takeshi then heads for the cart loaded with food and drinks. I sit on a nearby bench and open my notepad to start memorizing the jokes. Huh? Notepad is filled with unfamiliar writing. Huh? I flip through the pages and every page is covered in text and strange drawings. Detailed explanations about Sora's identity as an AI, the refinery area, methane hydrate, and the fish farm. Everything is meticulously documented. There's even a drawing of Tsugumi when she got injured. Since Takeshi gave me the memo, I haven't written anything in it. I look at the first page again. May 1st, 2017. Takeshi Kurinari. Tsugumi Komachi. Sora Akane Gasaki. Yubise Harukana Tanaka. Koko Yagami. Pipi. What? I involuntarily stand up from the bench. Koko Yagami? Just then. Yo-ho! Huh? I look up at the three statues. There we go. Drawn by the sound, I walk around to the back of one of the statues. I see no girl there. Just hear the sound of something being carved. Ah. There's a childlike doodle of some stick figures engraved on the back of the statue. I hear a sound coming from another direction. I walk around to the back of the statue where the sound is coming from. There are some other stick figures engraved here as well. Another sound. And I go look at the statue. Ah, my mind is in turmoil. Depending on which route Takeshi takes, the statue being carved on is different. But they all get carved on at the end because all the routes happen at the same time. But I never noticed that which statue Koko carves on is different in each one. Who would pay attention to that? Incomprehensible questions, anxiety, and fear surge all at once. My head overwhelming chaotic emotions swelling and ready to burst. I scream, as if to get it all out of my head. To get it all out, I scream. Just scream. In this place, I am completely blank. It is as if my consciousness is shrouded in the very essence of this white world. A vast, distant, endless world of pure white. In this place, I am the darkness. No, more like a world of white darkness. I'm in the middle of it. No, I am ascending. Propelled upward by some sort of pressure. No, that might not be true. Perhaps the white darkness is getting closer to me. It might be creeping up on me. Eventually it entwines with me. Infiltrates me. I open my eyes. I see an impenetrable light in front of me. The light is peering at me. Light and light gaze at one another. In the midst of the impenetrable light, I feel like I can see something invisible.
お兄ちゃん起きてる
Oni-chan, are you awake? A misplaced voice. No bubbles of light are born.
あ、まだ寝てる。もう、困ったお兄ちゃんなんだから。
You're still sleeping. You're such a lazy Oni-chan. The bubbles of light increase, enveloping my
よ
consciousness.
し、こうなったら。
Oh gosh, I guess I'll have to. Surrounded by bubbles of light, my consciousness advances into the impenetrable light. I
いっ
accelerate.
けペロペロ乱舞
Go, PPU's flurry of licks. Weird reverbed bark. The boundary of the impenetrable light approaches. Slam. Goof. I feel an impact on my chest. Slurp. And right after something warm and slobbery drags across my face. I'm engulfed in a fierce shower of slobbery goo. Unable to bear this, I open my eyes. Wah. PP's right in front of me, licking my face. What?
どう目覚めパッチリでしょ
How was that? You're right awake now, right? Coco smiles down at me, looking pleased with herself. Well, yeah, I am, but... I lift PP up and gently push the pup to the side.
タケピョンリクエストの別の起こし方。何番だっけな起こし方。ペロペロ乱舞はどうだった
I thought you'd request my second best way to waking someone up, Takepyo, how was the flurry of licks technique?
もう少し手加減した方が良かったかな
Maybe I should have gone a little easier on you. Coco smiles again. Ooh. Man, that was awful. My face still feels a little slobbery. Coco, why'd you have to go and wake me up like that? I mean, I did ask her to wake me up another way, but I wasn't expecting pee-pee tongue attack. I remember the sensation and shudder. I still feel kind of lightheaded, like my head's filled with fluff. Fluff? Oh yeah, chick play. Use chick play. Last night you was forced into a promise with Coco that she would do some chick play. There's no way I could miss this. Suppressing my excitement, I dashed out of the restroom. There's no one in the break room. Breakfast isn't prepared yet either, which means you and Coco must be at the gift shop. When I get there, I hear applause coming from inside. I hurriedly burst into the store. Did I make it in time?
タケピョン
Oh, Takepyo.
たけし
Hey, Takeshi.
蔵なりどうしたの
Takeshi, what's going on? Well, I wanted to catch a glimpse of you acting like a chick, you.
ひよこごっこだったらちょうど今終わっちゃったよ
Oh, chick play just ended. Oh, crap, I'm too late.
ナッキのひよこのモノマネすっごーくうまくって
Nakyu's chick impersonation was so good.
ココなんかよりもずっとひよこっぽくって
She was way, way more chick-like than I was.
ココびっくりしちゃった
I was totally surprised.
やだなもうそんなにおだてないでよ
Oh, come on, stop flattering me so much.
おだててなんかいないよ
I'm not flattering you at all.
本当に上手だったんだもん
You're really, really good.
本当だね。ひよこごっこっていうよりまさにひよこそのものだったもん。
Really, it was more like an actual chick than chick play. Despite having been so resistant towards chick play, you now seems embarrassed by Coco's praise. What's going on here? Did you get hooked while doing the chick impersonation? Speaking from a personal experience, chick play has a certain ritualistic allure that can paralyze human rationality, that's for sure. That is, if you can discard your sense of shame and humiliation. Maybe you was captivated by that allure. Well, anyway, I've gone and misused critical moment of absurdity. Too bad. I click my tongue.
タケピョンなんか残念そうだね
Takepyo, you seem disappointed. Yeah, because I misused chick play.
残念でした
Too bad. Still lingering in the aftermath of the chick roleplay, Yu puts her hands on her hips and wiggles her waist.
そうだそれじゃあ今からナッキュとタケピョンでひよこごっこの勝負をしない
I have an idea. Nakyu, Takepyo, how about you two have a chick roleplay showdown right now?
受けて立つわよ
Yeah, I'll accept the challenge. I'll pass. I'm not motivated to engage in a battle I know I have 100% probability of losing.
ほいじゃあココとする？
And then how about one with me?
さてと、ひよこごっこでリフレッシュもしたし、朝食の準備を始めましょうか。
Alright then, now that Chick-fil-A has made us all feel warm inside, it's time for breakfast. Yeah, we need to repair the whale as well.
それじゃあココ、少年、適当に食材持ってきて。蔵なりは台車を持ってくる。
Coco, you and the boy bring some food, would you? Takeshi, you get the cart. Hi! Okay.
Hi!
Okay. Bark, bark. Got it. Hi means yes. After that, I quickly finished a rather strange breakfast consisting of deep sea hot spring mango and a large amount of chikuwa. Then I headed off with Coco and the others to look for repair parts of the cosmic whale.
こっちにありました。
It's over here. Arriving at the warehouse, we search for parts listed on the repair list. There are motors, lights, cables, and all sorts of things scattered around the inside. Fortunately, the new items needed for the repairs are organized and numbered, so it's relatively easy to find them. Let's see, TM0, a TM0 unit. Ah, found it. This is it. Captain, last part has been found.
よくやった、タケピョンくん。
Oh, well done, Takepyon-kun.
これで全部揃ったの？
Are these all the parts? I checked the list. We've got this, this, and this too. Phew, that's everything.
また一つ謎が解明され、一つの冒険が終わった。しかし、
Another mystery solved and an adventure comes to an end. However, with all the repair parts gathered, it seems like Coco's pretend adventure is coming to a close.
世界の謎が絶えるその日まで、我々の冒険は終わらない。
Until the day when all the mysteries of the world are solved, our adventures will come to an end. Suddenly, Coco sways unsteadily. Hurriedly support her. Coco, you okay?
ここちょこっと調子悪いかも。
Yeah, I just feel a little weird. I place my hand on Coco's forehead. It feels a bit warm. Boy, take Coco to the infirmary, and could you call you? She's probably in the control room. I'll transport the parts and proceed with the repairs.
わかった。任せて。それじゃあ、ここ行こう。
Got it. Leave it to me. All right, let's go, Coco. Okay, so I'll review. The boy leads Coco out of the warehouse. I bet she's just really tired. Well, I am worried about Coco, but we need to deal with the submarine issue as soon as possible and escape. I pushed the cart loaded with repair parts and headed for the maintenance room. And then I start repairs on the cosmic whale, but I wonder if Coco's okay. I hope it's nothing serious.
たけし、調子はどう？手伝いに来たよ。
Takeshi, how are things going? I've come to help. As I'm thinking about Coco, the boy comes back from taking her to the infirmary. Hey boy, how's Coco?
今は薬を飲んでベッドで休んでるよ。ユウに見てもらったら風邪かもしれないって。
Coco's resting in bed after taking some medicine. You said it might be a cold. A cold, eh?
どうしたの、たけし？何か気になることでもあるの？
What's wrong, Takeshi? Is something bothering you? No, nothing. Well, the infirmary has medical scanners, so if you examined her there, it's probably just a cold.
それで僕に手伝えることってある？
Well, is there anything I can help you with? Yeah, actually, could you help me open this panel here?
オッケー。
Sure. I push the troubled thoughts out of my mind and get to work on the repairs. Alright, repairs are complete.
やったね、たけし。
We did it, Takeshi. Yeah.
イエーイ！
Okay. Then the boy and I go to inform you that the repairs are complete. Yu's not here. Where'd she go? She's in here either. And Coco, who should be resting in the infirmary, is also missing. Where could they have gone? Both gone. A sense of unease sweeps over me. We start searching the facility for them. Silent. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, Spirit of the Crescent Moon with her longbow on her back. Just then I hear someone singing. It's Coco. We head towards where the singing is coming from.
夢の中より
Waits for the sleeping child from within a dream.
今宵柳つく
Okay, there's no fastening of her quiver with arrows, only the rhythm of dance under the moonlit sky.
早く婚家と待ち降りぬ
The spirit of the crescent moon is awaiting the child's arrival.
眠りたもぬくと丸見て
The child sleeps soundly, curled up.
眠りたも母に抱かれて
The child sleeps soundly, embraced by mother, which is haha.
ココ、お
Okay.
歌上手だね。
So that just goes to the BGM, just goes to the Dreetstock theme. Okay. Yeah, that bong, bing, bong, boom, 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 boom. That's like, I think that's the Dreetstock theme. Although it's not like used just like they name the track Dreetstock, but they play it when the characters are like on other floors. Like it's not. Yeah. Anyway, Coco, you're a good singer.
上手でしょ上手でしょ
I am good, right? We're gonna have to cut this off here because I ran out of time. No wife peak escape. Anyway. Your key binding. Okay. So let's pick up a save. Let's leave. No. Title menu. Yes. Oh. See here, how far we got into this. This is new for last session, maybe. There's this one, this one, this one, this one. There's a batch, right? So this is the. We don't know which is the new and which is the old, but we've got one from a flashback and one from the Coco route. Okay, so we have a CG coming up. Don't know which it is. Followed by when this will be relevant to the plot. So this is 2 CGs away. But it was shown in the Sara route as this odd spoiler. One more CG. Then the place for Yuki. Not Yuki. That's actually you, isn't it? Yeah, that's you. And all kinds of stuff. And then there's more stuff past that. Wonder what that is. I don't remember, like, from the original game, like, you get, yeah, you get this, and that's pretty much it. Then you're pretty much here. Then you're pretty much at this. So, like, there isn't really any, no, there's any CGs in between. So I don't know where all this stuff is coming from. Or where this stuff is. That's due for the remake, I guess. Okay. Lots of weird comments from me in that one. And oddly, a high density of typos. A lot of typos in that particular set. Interestingly.